with the first set of Warriors of Iron undercoated, I'm now going to start painting them. I'm going to use a fairly simple colour scheme. I'm going to do gold on the pauldron edges, I'm going to do the helmet, little bone there, black on the shoulder pads. I'm going to find some bits, probably the knee pads, that I'll do black and then yellow. Whether I do chevrons or quarter it, I haven't decided yet. But they've undercoated up nicely, and I think even just adding the gold and the black is going to put them close to a tabletop standard. I know that the spray undercoat is very shiny. What I will be doing is applying a layer of Nuln Oil reasonably quickly in order to dull that down. I'll then highlight it back up using Vallejo Model Air Silver. But you can see how nicely they look already with just the spray undercoat. So I'll be back in a minute. What I'll do is I'll pick a single model, most likely the Lieutenant, and I'll go through him in the painting video. But in between the breaks I will be painting up the rest of the first squad of Bigley Marines, because then at the end of that I'll have 6 models painted out of my 1000-point army of 29 models. So I'll be back in a minute to start the painting. As you can see, I've mixed up a little Retributor armour with a little water to thin it down. Get a nice point to my brush, and then find a layer of the gold, bit of the gold detail, and start putting some colour on it. So I'll be doing the chest eagle, the leg eagle, the little skull holder, the shoulder pad, pieces, and the decoration on the helmet, to give you an idea of what's going to end up gold. There's also a little skull on the back of the wrist that I'm going to do gold. And back of this wrist. And I think I will do the guards of the sword as well. But that gives you an idea of how much coverage of gold there will be on the model as I start to go in and paint him up. So rather than subject you to 20 minutes of me painting gold on things, I'm going to stop the video here and I'm going to come back when the gold is done. See you in a minute. As you can see, I've filled in the gold on the chest, the leg, the little skull thing, the sword, the shoulder pads and the helmet. What I'm going to do now, I've got some black which I've watered down with a little water. I'm going to go and I'm going to do the shoulder pads, 2 thin coats, because it'll take a lot to cover the silver. But I'm also going to do the sort of gaps between the armour, like so. So I'll be back in a minute with that done. I've now applied some black to the shoulder pads, the armour joints and the gun. What I'm now going to do is take a little bit of Caltham Brown and do the holster and pouches. But as you can see, even with just 2 colours on the base coat, it is coming together as a model. The more I add, the better it'll look. But I could put it down the tabletop at this stage and it wouldn't look terrible. I'm gonna do an awful lot more painting before I do that, but for those of you who are not big on painting, then spray base coating it in the main colour and then doing the trim and the shoulder pads and starting on the equipment gives you something that isn't grey plastic to put down. And that's what will look really bad, simple grey plastic. So that's the base coat put on all the pouches. I'm going to apply a second thin coat. Presently, after I've done all of the standard marines, which again I have been going over and doing as I've been doing the lieutenant. So I'll be back in a moment with 2 thin coats of that applied. I've now done the pouches. I've got a little corn red, which again I've thinned down, and I'm just going to use that to do the purity seal. And again, it's a splash of colour on the model. And a quick check for any other purity seals. Nope, nothing on this one. It's on the lieutenant. I'm going to do Xandri dust on the skulls and the parchment, and then it's going to be time to start applying ink washes. So I'll put Xandri dust on and then I'll be back to do the inking. With the Xandri dust applied to the purity seals and the little skulls, and I've painted in the tiny little bits of rope that hold those skulls in place. I've also gone over and done the bases on all of these models in the base colours, so that I'm ready to just apply a wash pretty much all over. What I do want to do is start to darken down the miniature by taking the wash, applying it near the top and then pulling it down and round, and you start to see all the little details pop, because suddenly there's wash flowing into them. So these miniatures have very obviously been designed with washing and dry brushing in mind, because you can see literally just how well the detail starts to pop when you apply a wash. So I'm starting near the top and I'm pulling down. Stuff like the power sword I'll be going over and doing the blade later. But things like the helmet, I do want to have the sculpted in detail start to pop. But yeah, you can see how, for example, the differences on the backpack here naturally lend themselves to washing. Similarly, the detail on the back of the legs. So, then I want to start washing the base. Where the detail is, to be fair, shallower, but you see the effect that a light wash has. Let's do the side of this chest piece to make sure. You can see how good it looks. These new Primaris Marines look really good, even with, and this is just base coats and a wash. There's no line highlighting. It's literally just base coats and a wash. So that's my lieutenant done and washed. So I'll leave him to dry, and I'm going to take a little bit more video when he's dry, but the detailing I'm going to put in a separate video to keep the runtime down. Really liking it. I think this is a really good looking model, and I'm quite happy to have it leading my force. With the ink dry, you can see, and let's zoom in on this, what the Lieutenant looks like now. So much definition has been added to the chest eagle. All the parts of the model, all the little nooks and crannies now have black lining. Let's turn him around as well. I'm going to clean up the whole blade and do it like Duncan's done Power Swords on Warhammer TV, but it's darkened down the whole model, but it's added so much definition. No issues I'd have putting that on the gaming table, but I will come back in another video and detail it, bring out with line highlights, maybe a little bit of blending, much of the model. I may quarter or stripe one of the knee pads. It does seem like it would take an awful long time to do and be quite difficult, so I may skip it. But probably about an hour's painting time has got me 5 Bigleys and a Lieutenant to a tabletop standard. I'll come back and do more work on all of them, but I wouldn't be worried about putting them on a gaming table right now, because base coats are all done a wash, it's picked out lots and lots of the detail, and it looks pretty good. So I'll be doing a second video where I do all the detailing, but at the moment this is part 2 of my Warriors of Iron series, where I start actually painting the things. I'll be back with more videos shortly, but if you like this, hit like or subscribe, leave a comment below. How are you doing your Primaris Marines from the new box set? What do you think of them? I'll see you soon.